Well, what's going on there, folks? Good evening. It is Earthmaster here checking in on this April 19, 2021's date, 7:45 p.m. West Coast time. And latest quake on the globe, a 3.7 earthquake striking out here in the Sacramento Valley, almost directly underneath my feet. 3.7, kind of an odd earthquake to occur within this vicinity of the valley. The Sacramento Valley is not prone for earthquakes here. I know because I've lived here the majority of my life. Here's the latest information on the earthquake here. Struck, looks like about 14 kilometers east of Willows, California, in the Great Sacramento Valley up here, right where I live. Of course, there's fault systems that do run up along the crest, eastern crest here of the coastal range, and of course, fault systems up here in the coastal range. But strictly within this vicinity, this is probably about the second or third earthquake I've seen strike this region. There was one a couple months back, I believe it was a 3.9, a little bit shallower, that struck in this area. And I did feel that one early in the morning, kind of shook my bed. This one here I didn't feel. I don't know, I was outside running around with my nephew. But it struck here about 10 minutes ago. And 3.7, about 20 kilometers below surface, so kind of a deeper earthquake for this region. The other one I felt a couple months ago was pretty shallow and a little bit larger magnitude. So interesting activity occurring here, folks, in the Sacramento Valley of all places. Of course, this is California. We are connected to it. We're like right smack dab in the middle of it. A lot of movement going on out here, folks. Not to mention a 6.0 earthquake striking out here west of the Indonesia Islands area. Kind of a area where we've seen some heightened earthquake activity to the east here, back over here to the east. This earthquake striking pretty shallow, 6.0, near Singabang, Indonesia area, just off the coast there, into the system there of the Java Trench region. The plate boundary here is what I'm trying to say. That one, as I mentioned, about 10 kilometers below surface. Looks like quite a few folks reported feeling that. That's about the largest earthquake we've seen in quite some time. I'm still kind of waiting for some movement up here off the coast of Japan in this section of the Ring of Fire. I'm still watching that pretty closely, folks. We have seen some new movement down here. Hold on one second. Let me finish this update, okay? He always wants to go outside, which is good. Kids belong outside, that's for sure. No. 1 second, okay? So, yeah, the earthquake activity off the coast of Chile, we did talk about this earlier. There has been some new movement here in the Chile Rise area, another 5.0, well off the coast, but a sign of definite increasing pressure out here in this region of South America. This is an area to watch, considering we've seen pretty good handful of moderate quakes in that region, quite a few 5s and 4s popping off. Pretty shallow there along the Peru-Chile Trench area, the locked area, the subduction zone, right as it subducts right there. Some big earthquakes have taken place in that region. What else we got for the West Coast? I got to cut this a little short because I got my nephew here, like I mentioned. Some movement along the San Andreas Fault, the creeping section. Just a small little quake striking that area. Nothing big, 2.3 along the creeping section of the San Andreas Fault. And some movement down here along the San Jacinto Fault area. Ridgecrest area seeing a little heightened earthquake activity, far as a microquake swarming going on, or aftershocks, I should say. But no major quakes to report in that region for now. Nevada did see a little earthquake activity earlier, kind of ramping up there in that region. They had a... oh, where did it go? I could have swore they had a 3-pointer out here somewhere in Nevada. Oh, okay. Maybe I missed that. I could have swore. Maybe I had a dream about it. Anyway, just some typical earthquake activity out there in the Mina, Nevada region. Or no, Tonopah, west of Tonopah. Down here around Beatty. I meant to go down there and check out this earthquake activity when I was down there in Nevada and Southern California. But, man, what's going on with the map right here? Okay, jeez. But I completely spaced it off. Let's see what else we got. Idaho seen a little increase in activity too. Let's check the Yellowstone National Park overview. I was seeing a little bit of microquakes showing up on the live seismograph station, but I don't see anything at the moment. Everything looks clear in that department. Checking the tremor map. I'm kind of anxious to see what this looks like. I haven't seen it tonight. There we go. Whoa. That is quite a bit of stretch of movement, folks, along the central part of Oregon, the central part of the Cascadia subduction zone, the tremor area, slow slip area, I should say. This area right here does not see as much activity as areas to the north up here along the Cascadia and areas to the south, to the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone. So to see a massive amount of tremor into the central area where we normally don't see it, that's telling me that we're looking at a whole bunch of pressure out here along the west coast, folks. Something brewing big time. I want to go back here and add a couple days range here. We'll go ahead and select, let's go a week's time. And we can take a look at all the activity that's taken place in this region. Mostly into the Oregon area. In this area where we don't see a lot of tremor. I mean, we do, but on average, when you look at the broader scale, we see much more movement up here to the north on, on any occasion, and much more movement down here to the south. To see this in southern Oregon is a little scary, because I've always said I believe the area of where it could start to unzip or start to fracture, the lock section up here, would be Central Oregon, just due to the amount of tremor that I've seen taking place outside of this area. Without any slippage, it's kind of I can kind of see this thing bowing, if you will. You know, you get some slippage down here to the south, slippage down up here to the north, or up here to the north, and the land and the plate dynamics here just don't, it just doesn't disappear. There's pressure obviously being warped and kind of bowing, I guess, if you will, along the Juan de Fuca plate. It's kind of interesting here to see this development. Either way, within the last week of activity, 2,668 epicenters of tremor. Of course, magnitudes are over here, and they're not large. These are all roughly in the low ones, and occasionally a 2 or so. But these are just the release of pressure, the release energy, the M energy. But these are not like earthquakes when it comes to the plate tectonics. This is subduction zone, slow slip movement, if you will. Vibrations in the plate up there, or down there, I should say, way down there, about 30-40 kilometers below the surface, sitting off those slow slip event earthquakes. Not earthquakes, tremors. Keep saying that. So watch that area pretty closely, folks. I don't see any movement off the coast of Oregon at the moment, but we do have that interesting activity here where I live. I don't know. I mean, it's historical seismic activity. There's not a lot here in this region of Willows. There's some, I guess, if you look at this map here, you can see a little bit of activity since about 1900 or so. 1 second, okay? Grab another candy if you want. I've gone beyond the time frame that he allows me to do an update, so I got to make this short. A little bit of movement over here towards Oroville, Lake Oroville. But here in Northern California, around the Willows area, not a whole lot of historical seismic activity. This only goes up to about 2015. This does not include the earthquakes that struck here a couple months ago within this vicinity. So yeah, right next to the Sacramento River. I wouldn't say right next. This is about miles or so away from that region. So just kind of interesting activity, folks. It looks like quite a few folks reported feeling it. I'm sure if I was paying attention, I would have felt it too. But I've been outside running around. Did you feel it? Responses. Looks like quite a few folks there in Willows, Durham, Colusa, even some folks in Chico reported feeling that earthquake. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Have a good night. 6.0, the largest quake so far. Things could be getting interesting. Looks like we're playing out some interesting cards at the moment. Have a good night, folks. We'll chat you a little bit later. Peace out.